Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
We can go wherever you like today, but we did leave off on some things, and last time we talked, actually right after we talked, you ended up sending me a list. So I don't know if you want to pick up back with any of that stuff, or if you have something else you'd like to explore today.
We can pick it up knowing that I've totally already forgot the list in a way. Except
I have it right in front of me.
All right. Yeah. It's probably just a stream of consciousness type thing.
I can read it out. There's nothing to... You want me to just read it out?
Sure.
Okay. Excitement of death, routine announcements, routines, 10-year-old being in routines, being tired of excitements of all kinds, never too late versus death, never too late versus never trying, excitement, seeking, and avoidance, avoidance of bad experience and good ones because the 10-year-old felt inadequate, being offered things and rejecting them despite a fun excitement being involved.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Does any of that give you a thread that you'd like to pick back up on?
I think excitement just as a thread. Tipping over excitement, feeling it, being elated.
Mm-hmm.
An easy somatic feeling for me to think about excitement. It just resonates so much in my chest area.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a feeling that sometimes can be positive or negative. It's racing, fast, agitating. Seems like what's really happening for me these days. Things are going by so fast. And with that, positive and negative, I find it hard to feel grounded.
Okay.
And I feel like I still go through routines I enjoy and routines I don't. Routines I'm skeptical of.
And do those relate to excitement?
I think so. In a way, it's like I feel like I have, or even currently, others try to, I guess, dictate that this is exciting, or you're doing something so exciting. You should be excited. You should be like, you should celebrate, or you're doing a good job.
Yeah, so that's all coming, so that you're saying is coming from other people? Or
yeah, and I think
now
I'm like, thinking about that 10-year-old who
has some response to that.
I feel like the 10-year-old still, I feel blended with it.
Yes, okay. All right. Well, let's work on unblending there. You can just ask that 10-year-old to give you some space. Let him know that the best way for you to communicate with him and help him out is, more face-to-face rather than blended. And also, we don't have to go to him right away. We want you to be able to make that choice and be able to check in with your protectors and kind of figure that out. So that might be another message you send him, is that you want to do this in a certain order. So does he respond to any of that?
I think, yes, in a way, you can try. That's the response I'm getting.
Is he saying you can try? Is that kind of taunting, like good luck, or is he saying is he being sincere when he says that? Pessimistic?
Yeah, there's a bit of everything in that.
Okay.
I think still optimistic though.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank that part for communicating with you and and respecting, what you asked. Do you have other parts that are saying, "Hold on, don't go to that 10-year-old"?
Ever so faintly,
Okay.
like I feel like that is just such a powerful. There's so much weight or size to this part, but there is faintly something that a part that contextualizes that part in a way. So
Yeah, let's hear from any part that, those are probably protected parts, and we should hear from them if we can. I want to make sure you have all the permission and all the kind of go ahead from protective parts before going there.
um, feel like I feel like I have permission, although it does just feel very silent in a way.
Okay. Well, you can maybe just send a message to them that, that you're here, that you're in your present day body, and that protectors in all parts are welcome. If they have something to say, or if they have any concerns, we're going to be open to them jumping in.
Yeah, there's an agreement.
Great. How do you feel now about talking to that 10-year-old again?
I'm willing.
Okay. And how do you feel towards him?
A little bit. I don't want to say scared,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like physically right now. It feels like my heart is like on the verge of busting. Or
Okay. Just tune into that feeling and see if that's coming, like, does it feel like it's coming from the 10-year-old, or does it feel like it's coming from some other part that's concerned?
yeah, I do actually think it's generalized, not the 10-year-olds. Yeah.
Okay, so you say you're picking it up from the 10-year-old?
I don't think that. I think it's maybe that is proctoring this 10-year-old is giving me slight anxiety.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So this part that's concerned about something here. We don't want to push past that. Of course, this is often kind of intense work, but we also don't want you to be overwhelmed, and so we need to check in with that. What's that part's concern? What's the concern there?
Why do you care so much?
Mm-hmm. That's what it's saying to you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Like, I feel like today either I'm completely focused or I'm giving my parts of me are like in silence or like we're in a silence treatment type vibe.
Okay.
Very one liner type dialogue.
Yes.
Like I don't.
Yeah, we can work with that.
Cool.
So this part's wondering why you care so much. Does it have a concern about you caring too much? What would, just if you can ask this part a question back, what would be the problem if you were to care so much?
I think it's a matter of holding me back from feeling exhausted from testing this part, this 10-year-old.
Yeah. So if you get in the waters with the 10-year-old, then it's this part thinks that it'll just be exhausting. That'll be one of the.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. I mean, does it make sense to you that it has that concern?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, good. So just show it that makes sense to you. Again, kind of reminded of your age, reminded of the work you've done. And reminded in all your parts that you are in total control. That there's no demand, there's no obligation to go to any place you don't want to go. That this 10-year-old part is already negotiated with you. When it was blended, you were able to ask it to unblend. He's playing by the rules, you know? And that you're able to go in and out. I'm not going to push you.
Yeah, I think that telling these are they protectors, I guess.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, they
It's
want to protect
almost-
you from being overwhelmed.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
it's good. Yeah, massaging. I feel like this is massaging that, like giving. Yeah, I feel like it's opening up more.
Yeah. Great. And we appreciate it looking out for that. I mean, it's had an important role of looking out for that, because it can be overwhelming. Or it has been overwhelming in the past. Maybe when you were 10, maybe when you were 15, or other times where,
All right.
you know, you just don't have the tools, or you don't have the support. How's it feeling now? How's the racing heart or the anxiety sensation now?
Yeah, it feels a little. It has dissipated a bit.
Any other parts have any other concerns they want to voice?
I don't think so. I think most of them are pretty okay.
Mm-hmm. Turning back to the 10-year-old now, how do you feel towards him?
Calmer. Mutual.
Mutual.
Like in a eye to eye type way.
Great. Okay. And what's your proximity to him like?
If I were to paint a scene, it would just literally be eye to eye, staring at each other.
Mm-hmm. And how does that feel for you?
It feels okay.
And how is he with that?
I think okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Great. So you ready to ask him some questions, try to get to know him, see what he has to share with you?
Yep.
Okay. Just ask him what he'd like for you to know about his experience.
I have a song stuck in my head. And the lyric, I've been waiting here all my life,
Wow. Yeah.
is stuck. And I think Silver Sun pickups. Pickup, I think. I don't know. That's the band. But this lyric seems to
Yeah. Yeah. You've both been kind of in there and not quite connecting like this for forever, right? And how is that for you to hear now? How does how is that for you to think about that or to feel that?
this is going to derail things a little bit
Okay.
as I normally do, but um, it's nice that this part and I can seem to appreciate and relate with lyrics or music.
Yeah.
Um, happened before with art.
Yes.
So it's oddly giving some sort of commonality or comfort together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'm very
And
surprised by it.
yeah. Kids love art, kids love music. And sometimes that's, sometimes for us to be able to enjoy art and music, we have to kind of get in touch with that childlike side of ourselves. And so, yeah, that's
Yeah.
something that you both can bond over. That's one of the joys of retrieving exiles and healing them, is that we can access all of that again. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So just show them that you're appreciative of that. Let him know that you really want to get to understand him. And he can tell you whatever he wants. And of course, you don't have to share any of that with me or say it out loud.
Yeah, that lyric to this song, and that feeling, waiting here all my life, and excitement, excitement and death. It's just like this 10-year-old is waiting for filling a whole life of excitement and then dying. I think that's
Uh-huh.
what it's trying to tell me is
Is something he's concerned about or scared about?
question of um, how much effort how much waiting, how much patience.
So some of what you're sharing is a little cryptic to me. Does it make sense to you, what he's sharing with you?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
good. Just show him that makes sense to you. And how do you feel? Are you okay hearing this from him as he shows you this stuff?
I'm okay. Yep.
Yeah, good. Let him know that. Let him know you're all right with it. He can show you more. You really want to understand him. You want to understand his experience, his fears.
Makes me feel like this part lacks uh, the excitement of just being and the contents of just being.
Mm-hmm. Try checking that with him and ask him what is it that kind of stops him from being able to do that.
Routine.
Mm-hmm.
I think this part has just had that routine of not having that sort of
Spontaneity.
spontaneity, but also just understanding that it's okay to just be who you are, where you are, what you're doing at that moment, as opposed to being in like a purgatory of waiting for the next best revelation or thing or death.
Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Good. Show him that. He didn't feel like it was, or he doesn't feel like it's okay to just be who he is. And he's kind of felt trapped or brought down by routines. Is that right?
Yeah, but I actually think that this check-in is really like coming well. Like I feel like this is a good the access is clear.
Yeah, absolutely. Was a part doubting that?
No. I think that
This is
it was like a waiting in a good way this time. Or I shouldn't judge, but that's how I feel.
It's fine. Yeah. No, I think you're doing great. And I think we're learning a lot about this part, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
But he did feel like it wasn't okay to just be who he is, right?
I think that the part was trapped in a way. Or it was trapped.
Okay. Ask him if there's more he'd like to show you about that. Where did that come from? What was that like for him?
I think I touched on it, but this part's telling me all the structures like family.
Yeah.
It can all be good in a way, and I think that this 10-year-old was loved and still loved, but
Yeah.
got into a major loop of feeling inadequate or
yeah, we can be loved and still feel trapped. We can be loved and still experience traumas or
yeah.
Ask him if he feels like you understand. You understand his pain, his burden. And if not, to just show you more.
Starting to feel like that burden is becoming more surface for that part.
Yeah.
It's not as rooted.
Oh, yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah. We're doing some unearthing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the answer is yes, but it wasn't explicitly yes. It was, again, some sort of silence acknowledgement or some definite quality of light. Like it's things are lighter.
Yes. I wanted to acknowledge a moment ago when you were saying, he was loved. I wanted to check to see if maybe that was a part coming in that might be, again, kind of one of those protective parts, or a part saying like, kind of like we talked about last time, like, oh yeah, he's okay. Like he was loved. So therefore, we don't need to go there. We don't need to listen to all this. And so if it felt like that, just ask those parts to step back.
Thanks for asking that. I actually think that moment was appreciation. When I think about bringing up love wasn't questioned.
Right.
And still doesn't feel questioned. I feel like myself and this part are working well right now.
Yes. Great. So, got some options here. If this part has more to show you and you're learning and building trust, then you can stay with that and just keep asking him to show you what he'd like to show you his fears, show you his desires. If he feels like he's trusting you, if he feels like you're ready, then we can kind of move on to a bit of like an unburdening process. So that's dependent on you, dependent on him, dependent on that level of if he feels like you really get it and you've witnessed his pain or his burdens. So check with him.
I think it's at this point where he's witnessed his pain and is moving forward. So I'm, I guess in a sense, ready for.
Yeah. Okay. If it feels right to you, then we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So next is going back to his time and being the person he needed or whatever he needed at that time to help him not feel that way. And so when you're back there, you can just ask him what it is that he would like for you to do with him or for him.
One of the things I think is, yeah, it's okay to fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there
All
anybody?
those things, all those things. It's okay not to know. It's okay to fuck up. It's okay to do whatever, be who you are, etc.
Yeah.
So all those.
He needed to get that message, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you be that person back in his time? Can you be that person who's giving him that message? And see how that works for him. See how he likes that. And ask him if there's anybody else or any of those structures, for example, that he'd like to see you maybe send that same message to or to work on in any way.
Yeah, I think that's yeah, it's good. It's mutual.
Yeah.
Okay.
So were you able to provide that for him back in his time, and did he? How did he receive that?
I think well.
Ask him. If there's anything else, if there's more that he'd like for you to do, or that would feel right to help him with that back in his time?
Is it um I don't think this part wants, like, I think this part's good right now, but
Okay.
I think
Is
ever
that,
so often still wants a little check-in. Is that
oh,
from
absolutely.
myself? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the next thing to offer him is to come be with you, and to come out of that time, so that he doesn't have to experience that anymore, and that you're always within reach for those check-ins. It's just nice to sometimes have a little redo and have a little, way of yeah, it's called a redo, going back and kind of changing some of those experiences. So if that feels complete, then ask him if he'd like to join you in present day, and that could be in a fantasy place, or it could be anywhere. Where would he like to go?
I think it's just generally this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's yep, it's this year, and all the changes that are happening that I'm doing for myself and for others. So,
Yeah, he likes being a part of that. He wants to be a part of that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, great.
I think so.
Great. Yeah, bring him on into the present. And yeah, not everybody, not all parts want to go to, Fantasy Island. Sometimes they're just being present and being with you is what they want. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
let him know he doesn't have to go back there, and that you want to continue to provide that message of it's okay to fuck up, it's okay to not know, and you're okay to be who you are. That you want to do that for him from now on.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'd like to continue, we could ask him if he's ready to unload some of those feelings. Ask him where he carries them in or around his body, and what he'd like to give them up to.
Something about this part's mouth, teeth,
Mm-hmm.
feeling. I guess now having some sort of voice more so after this
Mm-hmm.
session we've had today and the last one.
Yeah. So he was feeling kind of shut up before.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. And so that's a burden he was carrying. How would he like to give that up? Would he like to give that up any way he'd like to one of the elements, or just check with him? Give up that feeling of having to shut up or not being listened to, or feeling of not being okay.
I think giving it up into the air.
Okay, great. So help him do that. Go ahead and do that. Tell him to give it up until it's all out.
Yeah, I think that's a interesting. I actually now see it more as the panic.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Of this part, panicked, feel.
Yeah. Yeah, just let him give all that up to the air. And when he's done with that, you might ask what he'd like to invite in.
Everything that this part thought it never had,
Yeah.
or doubted, or the other kids had, but now now it, it's open,
Yeah.
as opposed to hostile or comparative or um, uh, yeah, not feeling the esteem, or so it's everything.
Yeah.
I feel like the letting out and letting in definitely was
It's big.
now more, and patient. This part's now wise.
Yeah. Okay. And how would he like to stay in touch with you going forward? Some people like to decide on a spot in the body that they touch. Um, I'm sure you've heard about, kind of doing a daily quick check-in for 3 weeks. What feels right for you in this part as far as kind of nurturing this bond? And yeah.
I think it'll be at once a week.
Uh-huh.
And still think it would, if there was a part, it's my heart
Uh-huh.
area, chest,
Mhm.
left chest area.
Yeah. Okay. If that's what he wants, just check with what he wants. And I'll remind you that a check-in can be 10 seconds. I mean, I find myself kind of clutching at my various body parts throughout the day, that I've kind of set up as places to meet parts. So just check with him about what works with him for him.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay. And a final thing is to check on those other protectors, the anxious ones, the ones that were maybe hiding, or the silent treatment, or whatever. Any protectors that maybe the protector that was saying, in the past, kind of, oh, this kid's fine. Any part that maybe didn't want to go there, just invite them to witness your work. And if any of them also have something they want to give up, or roles they want to change, now that you've kind of established your connection with this part.
I do think that they're going to have to climatize a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that they're like, oh, this part has like grown up in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. And all that's a process, obviously, but just want to kind of send that message to the system that this one-on-one work you're doing with a part, it will affect the rest of the system. It's a good thing. Gives them all an opportunity to change the old patterns if they want. So you might just make that an open invitation. And so how's it all feeling?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling out those parts, and because they were so ready to, feels like like definitely they're on the ready to, they were always ready to protect. So, yeah, again, I guess climatizing in a way, and no no bad feelings from them per se, or no apprehension with the work.
Great. Sounds like a success to me. So
Yeah.
does it feel complete to you? Is there any more you want to say or do or learn while you have this part or all these parts?
I think no, this was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this session has really felt multi-dimensional. More than the past sessions, so very trippy.
Yes, well, thank you to all those protective parts that made space for you. You know, that's what it takes. It takes being able to negotiate with all of them and understand all of their concerns, and then, you know, accessing all that self energy and going in. You did it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Keep me posted.
Cool. Yeah, I will. Yeah, see you on the Discord, I guess, or...
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night.
I have to wake up now. Okay. I'll see you around.
All right. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows, that might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube, and they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.